Let's tour Regency Square Mall in Jacksonville, Florida. We're going to start by looking at our aerial view of the property. I'm also going to break down each section of this building because there's a lot going on. The right half with the terrible roof was the original mall and opened in '67. The other half on the left was the expansion and opened in '81. The green was occupied by JCPenney. The blue is the currently accessible mall space. The yellow is Impact Church, which was the former Belk space. They shut in 2015. The orange is empty mall space and inaccessible to the public. Montgomery Ward occupied that curved portion at the bottom. Purple is Dillard's Clearance Center, and pink was occupied formerly by Sears, which is also the largest retail space on the property at 216,000 square feet. This single-level mall opened in March 1967 and has total retail space of 1.4 million square feet. As we saw on the map, only a portion of that is accessible for shoppers today. The mall has 3 major anchor spaces. Currently, only the Dillard's Clearance is open and is only accessible from the outside. The other 2 spaces were occupied by Sears, which closed in July 2016, and JCPenney, which closed in October 2020. All dead malls have a sad story, and Regency Square is no exception. What was once a booming retail hub is now a mold-infested, leaky roof shell of its former self. According to a 1979 study published in the Florida Times-Union, the mall was one of the most profitable retail centers in the nation, with yearly average sales of $156 per square foot, compared to the national average of $88 per square foot. In 1981, 14 years after opening, the mall received a $30 million expansion, which was a large investment considering the initial cost to open the original structure was just $12 million. This addition nearly doubled the size of the mall, adding an additional 90 new stores and restaurants, and now split the mall into 2 separate segments, meaning that while it was all under one roof, the interior was not fully connected. That building we just saw was Sears, and this is the former Montgomery Ward. The property underwent a $30 million renovation in 1998, and with it brought a 24-screen AMC theater to the northwest corner of the property, as well as a food court. Let's take a look inside. This mall wins the award for worst roof on any building. I specifically waited until it was raining to film this mall because I wanted to get the sound of it raining inside. I've never seen so many buckets outside of a Home Depot. You're probably wondering what happened. Aside from the obvious and always quoted internet Amazon reason, the area surrounding the mall did a complete 180. In 1999, mall management announced formal conduct and dress codes to deal with offensive or intimidating behavior and gang activity. In 2004, over 1,000 incidents were reported, which was the highest ever. Between September 2007-2008, 650 unlawful acts were documented by the sheriff's office, more than double the combined totals of the city's other 2 retail centers, the Avenues and St. John's Town Center. In January 2008, a man was shot and killed by an off-duty policeman who had been called to pursue someone fleeing from Belk with a stolen pair of jeans. The shoplifter shot the officer 4 times before being fatally wounded himself. Imagine dying over a pair of jeans. At the center of the mall, surrounded by all the water damage on the ceiling, sits this train ride that used to be operational, but I think it shut down as early as 2016. It used to be $2 to ride, and children would get 3 laps around the track. But now it just sits here, unused and waiting to die. The food court is actually a bright spot in this place. As you can see, it has a nautical boat theme, and there's actually no water damage on the ceiling, if you can believe it. Speaking of, with all this moisture, mildew, and mold, I was expecting it to smell terrible inside, but it actually wasn't that bad. Legal issues have also crept up on the property. In 2017, tenant International Decor Outlet sued the mall's owners, citing an instance where complaints about a leaking roof were ignored, and instead, paint was used to cover up water stains, which allowed for the growth of mold. Other lawsuits from tenants allege the mall's air conditioning is often broken, and that roaches are allowed to freely roam the property. In 2020, the mall was at risk of losing power due to owing $349,000 to Jacksonville Electric Authority. In November 2022, the mall was given a warning citation from the city of Jacksonville, noting various commercial violations in the common areas, including a roof leak, interior ceiling damage, and exposed wiring. Clearly, as of March 2023, all of those issues are still present, so either the owners don't care or don't have the money. To be fair, I can't imagine they're taking in a lot of rent, and as we saw from the map, that entire roof needs to be replaced, so it's a tough situation. This was the entrance to the former Belk. Once the store closed, you could no longer access the entire mall from the inside. This store was kind of a connector between the eastern half and the western half. As we look at the skylights in this next clip, I did not edit the audio one bit. I did not lower the volume or add any music, so just listen to how quiet it is. Here we see the train conductor sleeping on the job. In this next clip, as I was filming an empty storefront, I heard an exchange between a son and father that really sums it up. We are now inside the Dillard's Clearance Center, which was very busy. In this next shot, you can see the doors that were formerly used to access the mall. They're now completely frosted over. Like the JCP and Sears, Dillard's also had a second floor, but it too was completely inaccessible. The escalators were blocked off. I was impressed by this store. It had cove ceilings and nice tile, better than the Altamonte Mall location. The mall was playing host to a traveling carnival, and setup was taking place the day I filmed. I wanted to end the video with a few pictures of the mall in its glory days. This was the mall on Black Friday in 1981. This was JCPenney in 1991. This was outside Sears in 1993. And this was inside the mall in the late 60s. Have you been to Regency Square Mall? I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Like this video and subscribe for more mall content. That was our tour of Regency Square Mall, and I want to thank you so much for watching.